Now, the BJP has latched on to this comment that has come to the fore from US President Donald Trump, raising questions against the former election commissioner and the Congress that was in power back then as well. The Congress's Jairam Ramesh now has responded to those allegations. He says USAID is very much in the news these days, but claims being made by US President are typically nonsensical, to say the least. The Government of India should bring out a white paper at the earliest detailing USAID's support to both governmental and non-governmental institutions in the country over the last few decades. That's what Jairam Ramesh of the Congress has now put out. Aman Sharma, Pallavi Ghosh joining us on this broadcast, getting us more perspective. Pallavi, the Congress there going on to say that yes, a thorough investigation is required, but any allegation or any intention or motive that is being pitched behind what Donald Trump or what Elon Musk has said, all of that is nonsense.
Yes, but I think the government is going to wait a while before it takes a call on whether there should be a white paper or not. Because before that, the investigation has to be at least halfway. They have to get some more facts. As of now, it's at a very, very baby step, if I can say so. The list is very much there in the domain, but that's only within the domain of the administration. These are sensitive documents, these are sensitive information, and I don't think either the Trump administration or the Indian administration wants to rush into this in a hurry. As I said, the focus of the government's probe at this point of time is certainly based on what Donald Trump has said. Whether indeed there was an attempt being made to interfere and allow foreign aid and powers to meddle in the electoral process and to change the electoral results in 2024. That's the first step which has been taken. Some questionnaires have been exchanged. But what Jairam Ramesh is saying is very clearly an attempt at damage control and rubbishing all the claims coming in, first by the American president and second by way of the government or the BJP, and saying that this is absolutely rubbish. In fact, he's provoking and goading the government to be transparent and put on the floor of the House when the budget session resumes a kind of a white paper which would have details of any transactions or evidence that there was an attempt being made to subvert the electoral process in 2024 and possibly even earlier.
So is there evidence or not, Aman? That's really the big question as far as this money trail goes, because the former CEC had also reacted to this right after Elon Musk had claimed that this was being cancelled, and he said that the MOU that was signed made it very clear that there was no money involved at all.
Well, see, Poonam, certain things are now on record. Number one, that there were $21 million sent to India for the purpose of increasing voter turnout, and this is what DOJ has stopped. And now you have Donald Trump very clearly saying that this money has been stopped. But was this money being sent to influence the Indian elections or to make somebody else win? I think this is something that the Indian government and especially the BJP is latching on to now, because they are saying even the US president is raising question marks on this $21 million. So where did this money go? Who received this money? And they're also saying that Prime Minister Narendra Modi, over the course of the 2024 campaign, at least on 3 occasions in his election speeches, also hinted towards the same, that there are foreign powers who are trying to influence the Indian elections, who are trying to ensure that Mr. Modi does not come to power again. He has said this repeatedly. So obviously the Indian government and the Prime Minister also had certain inputs, but these inputs are now being reaffirmed by what Donald Trump is saying. Even in the start of the parliament session, for example, the recent budget session, when Prime Minister Modi said that this time no foreign spark has come before the parliament session after a long time. So that is what the government is really saying, that the evidence needs to be found, the evidence will be found, and because anything what Donald Trump is now saying, this is getting only corroborating what the Indian government, especially the Prime Minister, has long suspected, that there are certain foreign elements inimical to Indian interests which are trying to ensure that Indian elections are influenced, that Mr. Modi does not come to power again, and those intentions they could not fulfill, and Mr. Modi came to power for a third time. But now I think this is a reaffirmation that how the government is seeing it, and they will now be keenly awaiting the evidence to come from the US to go further on this.
And Aman, in fact, stay on with us, because we have some information that's now trickling in, which via sources within the government we're given to understand that action has already begun and some media accounts and websites have already been deactivated, Aman?
So they have been deactivated, and the government is looking into why they got deactivated. So, there may be some footprints which are trying to be deleted. People who have got this money, and some certain websites or certain accounts have got deactivated in the last few days. That's what government sources are telling us. And are these footprints being erased by people who may have been the beneficiaries of this aid? So the government is very clearly saying that the nefarious elements of USAID. USAID may have done various programs in the country, may have aided many people, but the nefarious element of USAID, like this particular voter turnout issue, this will be acted against. The action will happen. The government government is awaiting more evidence. Certain evidence has come to them, but they are awaiting more evidence to come from the US. So they are clearly trying to differentiate here also, Poonam, that USAID is doing certain work because the Congress is now attacking that USAID has worked with the government also at various occasions, with many government organizations. So the government is very clear that yes, but there are certain nefarious angles to also USAID which are bound to hurt India in the past, and that is what will be acted against.
So that action will be taken is what the government has come out and said. But reactions are trickling in thick and fast. Omar Abdullah of the National Conference, the latest one to react to what Donald Trump has now come out and said. The Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister and senior leader of the National Conference reacting sharply, in fact, going on to say that there is no sign of foreign interference at all in our elections. If there are some voices, then the election commissioner should now come out and clear its stance. Pallavi, as far as the former CEC is concerned, the one who was the CEC when this MOU was signed in 2012, S.Y. Qureshi, he's come out and clarified. But so far, we haven't heard anything from the Election Commission now over these claims. Would we be hearing from them like Omar Abdullah is also saying?
I think the new election commissioner, Gyanesh Kumar, the day he took charge, Poonam very much cleared it. I mean, he gave a soundbite, and while he was taking charge, he gave a very brief speech. And, at the end of the speech, he did say that, the electoral process in a country is free and transparent, and it is our sole responsibility to ensure that elections over here are done in a free and fair manner. This right in the middle of this controversy which arose with the Doge taking a decision on cancelling the $21 million aid through USAID, amidst these controversies which we are all talking about. So the Election Commission from day one, every time the opposition parties, particularly Rahul Gandhi, have spoken about a malleable or gullible Election Commission, EVM machines being hacked, voters' lists being inflated to suit the BJP. All along, the EC has maintained their line that we stand upright. We don't take orders from anyone, whether within the country or outside. And certainly this entire issue of, having been paid for by as far as powers, that's not true. Yes, there is an attempt which is being made to malign the image of the Election Commission, which the EC says is absolutely unfair and incorrect.
Right, so the Election Commission there coming out and saying that these claims of any interference are incorrect, but the BJP has latched on to what first Elon Musk said, and now something that's been confirmed by Donald Trump, the US President as well. Pallavi, at the moment, thank you so much for getting us the latest. But like I said, Omar Abdullah is the latest one to raise questions and ask accountability of this government of the day. Listen in to that reaction.
वो अमेरिका तक है, एड उनका है, वो किसको देना चाहते हैं, किसको नहीं देना चाहते हैं, वो फैसला हमारा कहां पर है। फॉरेन इंटरफेरेंस की फिलहाल कोई सबूत तो नजर नहीं आ रही है। हमें तो ना बताएं, इलेक्शन कमीशन को फिर इस चीज का जवाब देना होगा, क्या हमारे इलेक्शंस में कहीं पे फॉरेन इंटरफेरेंस हुआ है, क्योंकि अभी तक तो हम मान के चल रहे हैं कि हमारे इलेक्शन जो है फ्री और फेयर रहे हैं। अब अगर इस तरह की कोई बात आई है तो इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया इसमें सफाई दें।